end regardless of how we realize or how we think. First is the realization of the brotherhood of man, and secondly, the realization of the identity of all that lives. These principles become a solution to the constant pressures of our day. Now then, when we go a little further into this matter, we begin to study the various effects of life upon these points. Now, finally, if we consider this vast unity as one, which it is, the Adam Kadmon, the one that is made out of the stardust, then the other mind, a small one, the physical atom, so-called, ADM meaning in Hebrew a species or a kind, not a person. Then we have the problem of this little atom. And this little atom is ourselves. This little atom is each human being, because each human being is a galaxy. Within our skins and in the various structures of our body are as many worlds, planets, and mysteries as anywhere in space. We have an inner space that is filled with life, just as the space in which we live. This space lives in us as we live in it. This space, which is ourselves, consequently represents a pattern that we must all follow. In order to fulfill the purpose of our personal lives, we must make sure that this space is maintained properly. We must be certain that we do not betray or falsify this space content in ourselves. We must become good and faithful overseers of this mystery of the body. And in the story of the biblical history, we find that the ego, or the self, becomes, in a sense, the custodian of the body and the custodian of the laws of living. So we can go as we wish in this problem. We can become good and faithful servants, keeping the laws of health to the best of our ability. We can keep the laws of mental and emotional health to prevent psychotic conditions arising within our nature. But where we lack discipline, or where we permit details to take over, where we permit a grudge to become a dominant in our lives, we begin to reap the sorrows that the nations have when they have grudges and wars. For every inclemency of our own body becomes symbolical of one of the larger inclemencies of the world in which we live. So we have a very interesting problem here to think about, namely that we are a unit of life moving through infinite space. We are a unit of life composed of a vast mass of units. Now, notice something that's very interesting about this. We assume that the real purpose behind this all is growth or unfoldment. Now, considering the human life wave as a unit, we then consider how many entities are in this life wave. How many souls or beings are coming in and going out to constantly keep alive the great forward motion of the entire. And the various questions have been asked on this, and perhaps we can use the Hindu answer as well as any other, because at least it gives an idea of magnitude. Their theory is that the human life wave consists of approximately 60 billion entities. That is the life wave to which we belong. Now, obviously, these entities are in a constant process of coming in and going out. They are here all the time, only a fraction. The same might be true of the problem of the unity of humanity as we know it. There are human beings born every moment, there are human beings passing out of life every moment, but humanity moves forward steadily, gradually increasing in number. The population of the planet on which we live, the human population, 2,000 years ago, was less than 200 million for the whole planet. After that time, it began to increase. Now, does this increase represent more entities? No. It merely represents more of the great cycle coming into embodiment at one time. If the 60 billion are sitting there, or are lying in suspension, awaiting embodiment, those who come in become, like the children, are born in and can go to school. After a certain length of time, they grow older and pass on. In each generation, a few more come in. Through the progress and growth of life on Earth, more and more human beings come in. Until now, we have altogether somewhat near probably 6 billion human beings, up from 200,000 to 6 billion. Now, this doesn't mean that there is one single new soul in the world. It doesn't mean that there is one iota of difference in the plan. It simply means that gradually, vehicles for the manifestation of human entities are improving, growing, unfolding, and making possible more to come in and take the lessons of life with us. Little by little, we have built it up, and we'll probably build it up more and more. If we reach a population of 10 billion, then 1/60th of our entity field will be incarnate at one time. This is important because it gradually means that the life wave is moving gradually into objectivity. The life wave is more and more embodied, and embodied is becoming growing more all the time. With every